Welcome back. There's a piece in the New York Times today that I wanted to commend to you. Well, actually, it wasn't in the Times today. Excuse me. This is from actually from last year, but it's relatively new research, and the article starts out with a story about Erin Alexander, who was parked in a Target store in Fairfield, California. Her sister-in-law just died, and she was having a hard day. She was sitting in her car crying. She finally kind of pulled herself together and went into the Target, and where there was a Starbucks. And in the Starbucks, there had been a barista who was sitting there crying because her coffee machine wouldn't work, and her day had just gone from bad to worse. And so Mrs. Alexander, who had been crying in her car, didn't say anything about crying in her car, but said to the barista, she smiled, she ordered an ice cream tea and told her to hang in there. And when she picked up her order, she noticed a message on the cup that said, your soul is golden. She said, I don't even know what your soul is golden means, but it made my day. And this led to a study, or this example, it points to a study that was published in the Journal of Experimental Psychology last August, where there were multiple different research studies, 8 different research studies, where they had people perform acts of random kindness for strangers and asked them what impact they thought that act of kindness would have. And then they asked the people who were the recipients of the random acts of kindness what impact it had. And it turns out that most of us think that acts of kindness produce no response or little response. But in fact, when you are the recipient of a random act, an unexpected act of kindness, it's a big deal. It literally can make your day, sometimes your week. So I'm not going to go through all the details. They are fascinating. But basically, we always underestimate the importance of these things. I've talked before about the Boy Scout motto. You know, when I was a little kid, and it was one of the hardest things I ever did. This was in the 1950s, and I don't know if they still follow it. I'm sure it's still the motto, but we had to every day to do a good deed, and a good deed was defined as doing something nice for somebody else that they may or may not even know you did. And it's kind of hard to find those opportunities. You know, you have to keep your eyes open and pay attention. So let me encourage you to participate in random acts of kindness. Okay, I'm done. Anything Goes Friday is up next. We'll be picking up your phone calls for the next 3 hours or 2.5 hours, and a lot to talk about. Oh, I've got to tell you also about right-wing extremists being defeated in school board elections. I think I'll push that to the next hour, and I'll pick up your calls on the other side of this break. Stay with us.
You're listening to the Thom Hartmann Program. Call 202-808-9920.